This is Volk, who is making her way to the ring now. In her semi-finals, she beat 2020 European Junior silver medalist Dragana Jovanovic of Serbia by unanimous decision. She's a national champion a couple of times over. Good fighter, kind of clever southpaw, a thinker, a good composure. And this is going to be a good match, I think, because she's up against another Russian, Evita AVERIANOVA. 3 gold medals for Russia out of 4 bouts so far, but you can see Volk as she makes her way to the ring, just jogging into the red corner in front of us. You know, she's nice and relaxed, she's nice and loose, and that's important, particularly in this kind of sprint format, if you like, of 2 minutes. You've got to make sure that you're not tight, that you're not burning nervous energy.
She's caught the eye as well a few times this week in a lot of people's eyes, the German. She's been applauded for that quarter-final bout that she had, an impressive victory.
And this is Evita AVERIANOVA, beat Katrin Ivanovova of Czech Republic 5-0, and then Svetlana Linik of Ukraine in the semi-finals by unanimous decision. A national champion as well. And she's also a good fighter, rangy. Look at the length of the arms there. She's got a real long reach on her. They are long levers, and she'll need to try and use those, utilise them as much as possible. She can tend to lean in a little bit, get her weight on that front foot a bit too much, which takes some of that natural distance away, but this is going to be a good fight, I think. This is going to be an interesting fight. Volk there, ready to rumble. She's boxing in the red. She's representing Germany. AVERIANOVA of Russia in the blue. And she's seen teammates succeed already this afternoon, a number of them. That puts some pressure on you. Remember at the World Youth Championships, we saw 7 Indian fighters win gold medals in the women's final. 7 out of 7. We were sitting there wondering at what point one of the Indian fighters was going to lose, and that nobody would want that next to their name, that they were the one who didn't win, and they all managed to do it. And all of the Russians we've seen so far today have managed to do it too. So here we go. In the blue there of Russia, AVERIANOVA, boxing as a southpaw. In the red of Germany is MEI-LI Volk, and she's just trying to use that jab at the minute, AVERIANOVA, trying to gauge the distance. And Volk gets in quick there into distance nice and quickly and lets her hands go, and that's what she needs to do. She's got to get inside that superior reach, and when she's there, make it count, and then get back out again. Get up close, work, and then get away.
And for almost her insolence to try and take on the Russian, there was a quick reply as well from the fighter in blue as soon as Volk started to take things up a notch.
Just feinting with that front foot a little bit there, AVERIANOVA, then looks to try and use the jab. It's not a real snappy jab, it's not particularly a weapon, which, given that reach, is a little bit of a shame. She uses it mainly to try and set up that right hand. Volk lets a combination go herself, but it didn't reach, and then that time took her feet in with her. It's a little bit unorthodox, the fist just kind of mirroring the feet there as she steps in. She lets her hands go, but there is some balance there. She's not coming over the top of the front foot, so these are the tactics she's going to employ. They'll have had a good look at AVERIANOVA, they'll know her well, and this is a method that she's going to try and use. On the outside, she knows that is more AVERIANOVA's kind of a fight. She's got to get in close, and to do that she's got to commit and get there quickly. And as I said before, when she is there, get some work done. This has been a little bit frustrating for AVERIANOVA in this opening round so far. Not much clean has landed really from either one of those two, to be honest. It's not the easiest round in the world to score, I wouldn't say, and as a result there's the split scoring there. 2 judges have gone for MEI-LI Volk, and the other 3 have gone for AVERIANOVA. And it's a bit of a toss of a coin, that one, to be honest, because she looked quite proactive at times, MEI-LI Volk, when she did just like rush in. That looks energetic, but not really very much got through. And AVERIANOVA, from her part, she was a bit more measured, but again, not much landed.
Yeah, and it looks initially slightly ungainly from Volk as well when she steps in. I mean, she keeps the balance well, as you mentioned there, but he's a little unorthodox, and it's a little wild and reckless, and you wonder if that's something that can be telegraphed later on by the Russian and actually then catch her out as this bout goes on. But as you say, very little being connected by either fighter in that. EVERIANOVA trying to use the reach a little bit in the distance that she can have, but because she doesn't have as snappy a jab as you mentioned, it doesn't really seem to be profiting her too much early on.
It's not as much of a weapon as it should be. That's definitely true. As I mentioned at the start, when I saw her in the semi-final, she does tend to lean in a bit and take some of that reach away. It'd be great to see her really snap out that lead hand. She threw a right hand lead there that time. She's just trying to move a little bit more in this second round at the moment. Just try and keep Falk turning, because if Falk's going to want to try and rush in the way that she has, then she needs a stationary target to do that too, otherwise it just won't work. So EVERIANOVA just looking to try and pivot around that front foot a little bit more, but if she's going to do that, she has to try and pick Falk off from the outside. Neither one of these two have really managed to land too much in the second round yet. Lead left hand there from EVERIANOVA, just about got through, then a left around the back of the head, a touch just dragged Falk down to the canvas. Just fainting with that front foot there, Falk. Thought about letting the left hand go, didn't in the end. We've yet to see her really close the distance, the German, as we did in the opening round. Little lead left hand there, good jab there from EVERIANOVA, through the left, through the right. It fell short. Falk went to move in there. She thought that was her trigger, that was her key. And then the lead left hand just caught her nice and solid. And in a round where not a lot is landing, that could be enough. EVERIANOVA, I think, has controlled things quite well in this second round so far. She tries to rush in there again, Falk, and just isn't really able to do it with any great effect. Final stages, quite cagey this. It's a technical, tactical battle. Split scoring in the first round, as we saw, which was unsurprising. Good left hand right at the end of the round there, though, from MEI-LI, Falk. So again, that's fairly tight, but the Russian gets it with all 5 judges at ringside, and that's the way I would have gone. I thought up until that left hand right at the end of the round, Falk didn't really manage to land anything.
Yeah, and just underneath that left hand as well, there was a right uppercut coming up from EVERIANOVA too that just caught the German fighter slightly. You said there it was tactical. It certainly seems like there is a little more patience than either fighter would almost want to have in this moment, because they're both trying to suss out when there is an opportunity, and there are very few clean opportunities for either fighter to seemingly do what they want to do in this fight, and so they're having to take the odd risk, and Falk in particular seems more willing to take those risks, and then she's paying the price slightly for them as the second round went on.
Well, that's the kind of dynamic you've got, isn't it? Because EVERIANOVA can have this on the outside, because she can land punches at a range that Falk can't. So Falk is the one who's going to have to commit. She's just got no choice about that. It's just how she chooses to do it. And she commits immediately at the start of the third round there, just rushes EVERIANOVA, who just looks to back up a little bit, give herself a touch of room, and gets her arm around the neck of Falk there and wrestles her down to the canvas. So this is the third and final round, and EVERIANOVA is in the driving seat here on the basis of those opening 2 rounds. A 2-point lead with 3 of the judges, level with the other 2. So this is a very big task for MEI-LI, Falk.
You can see she's starting to commit a little more in the last 20 seconds or so. That's twice now that the German fighter Falk has stepped in and had those fists pumping as she steps in towards her opponent.
EVERIANOVA did manage to catch her, I think, with a couple as she came forward, and that's the key really, when you've got somebody closing in on you like that, rather than stand your ground and just let them come. Step off to the side, half step back, give yourself a touch of space. If you've got that composure about you, then you can land on them as they're coming in. That's the risk that Falk has just got to take. She's had no choice about that, really, heading into the final 30 seconds. Short with a right hand there of EVERIANOVA, but that's good boxing from the Russian. Falk again just looking to try and rush her, as she has done a few times, and increasingly as the bout has gone on, when she's attempted that, she's come off worse. Doesn't really move ahead as she comes in. I don't think that's doing her too many favours. Closing seconds, and this is going to be another gold medal for Russia, so this is bout number 5. I believe, and this will be gold medal number 4. There goes the belt.
Yeah, promising start to the Sunday for the Russian camp on finals day here in Tbilisi, Georgia, at the EUBC Junior Boxing Championships. And again, the German a couple of times, Falk, erratic when she came in. She did land a couple. There was a very nice right in the last 40 seconds or so of that final round that certainly caught EVERIANOVA. But I think on the balance of it, it's hard to look away from the Russian, who didn't have to do too much to deal with the aggression from her opponents, and in the end was able to catch her enough times when she did come in close. Let's go down to the ring for the results.
So she gets it, EVERIANOVA, boxed well, takes the final round 10-9, so 3 rounds to 0 with 3 of the judges, 2 rounds to 1 with the other 2. Close first round. The split scoring there was entirely appropriate. The second and third rounds were pretty straightforward to adjudicate for our ringside officials. So that is gold medal number 4 for the Russian team. 4 out of 4 for them so far.
There could be a number 5 coming up as well in our next bout from the featherweight category, the 57-kilo category. As we see the Russian EVERIANOVA, and how she was able to land some really nice shots on MEI-LI Falk in that final of the bantamweight category, and getting the job done to keep the Russians' gold medal run continuing. Again, as we're seeing on the replays here, Andy, it's the left, it's the arms. They're so difficult to get away from and so difficult to get around as well for Falk in that final.
It was hard. It was hard work. She's got a monstrous reach on her, EVERIANOVA, and she does use it pretty well. I mentioned the fact that she doesn't snap out a really heavy jab. That would be perfect if she could develop that. She's still very young, of course. That could come, but she does judge the distance